Welcome to Animaties, a retro anime review comedy podcast. These episodes contain spoilers and adult language, so stick around if you're cool like that. Hello and welcome to the first episode of the brand new Animaties full series watch through. My name is Mackenzie, joined by my wired-in co-host Lindsey.
Oh my gosh, my psyche is currently intact, guys. We'll see how it goes from here, though.
That's right, Lindsey. It's that time of the year again where we try to break your brain.
Yay! I currently have no health benefits.
If it helps, this is technically more psychologically damaging than Evangelion.
Oh, good. Well, I mean, I guess I do still have therapy sessions through my union, so I guess it's okay.
Yay!
It's gonna be like, in the intake form, it's going to be like, reason for application, and it's just going to be like Serial Experiments Lain, and then they're like, oh my gosh, get her in immediately.
Depending on your therapist, yes, that is exactly what's going to happen. But yeah, surprise everybody, for those who just heard that, and for those who've seen the title of this episode, you are not hallucinating. Starting today, we are in fact going to be watching the entirety of Serial Experiments Lain over the next couple months, breaking down the themes, plots, characters, visuals,
and my mental health,
and more. And also keeping track of Lindsey's mental health.
Oh man, let me just pull this out of my closet and dust off my thread board from Evangelion.
Oh, yes.
Should I order a bigger one?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get on that.
Now, I know that myself and many of our listeners are very excited for you to watch this. Some have said, oh no, what are you doing to this small, sweet little bean?
I've definitely heard that from many people.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready for this tiny child to somehow make everything way worse for me.
Well, it's funny. I showed you the intro to this song, the opening, and I remember you specifically saying, I don't know how this little girl is going to break my brain.
I know. And then everybody who's watched the show laughing.
Yep. Everyone who heard that little soundbite, like, oh, you sweet summer child.
I know. Guys, this is great. I'm really glad we're doing this while my seasonal affective is just raging.
We're coming into that seasonal depression winter season too. Yep. So
my body is like, let's just hibernate. I'm like, no.
Before I get into some questions for you,
okay,
some people might be asking, what exactly is Lain? Because not everyone listening to this will have seen it, and they might be watching along.
Whew. Oh my gosh, let's start a support group.
patreon.com/animaties. We're going to have a Lain-specific channel in there for you to talk about what's going on episode by episode.
Can we please call it the Lain support group?
100% it's going to be called the Lain support group. Now, without giving away too much spoilers, because I do want you going into this more or less blind, let's talk a bit about what this is.
Okay.
So, Serial Experiments Lain is a 1998 anime series written by Chiaki J. Konaka and directed by Ryutaro Nakamura. Now, if the name Konaka sounds familiar, it's because he's worked on shows like Hellsing.
Oh, cool.
Devil Lady, which we talked about this coming episode.
Wow, spoilers.
We're not watching it. We mention it.
Yeah.
Bubblegum Crisis, Armitage, which we also talked about recently. And also Digimon Adventure and Digimon Tamers.
Is Digimon Adventure the one that I watched?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, of course, one of the producers and creators, Yasuyuki Ueda, has worked on things also like Hellsing and Ergo Proxy.
Oh, I've seen Ergo Proxy.
And the character designer is Yoshitoshi Abe, or
That's
Abe.
That's a great name.
As many people have corrected me on.
Abe. I love that name.
Now, this might give you some insight into things. Maybe. That's quite a different direction. Hellsing to Digimon to Ergo Proxy.
I mean, it's all those weird, darker series. I mean, sans Digimon.
I mean, Digimon could be dark at times.
It's true. It could. At one point, the vampire Digimon just fully chokes out a child.
Exactly. And for all you know, this is more like Digimon than it is any of those other series listed.
I don't believe you.
Well, moving on to the studio.
No comment, just moves on.
The studio behind this series is Triangle Staff.
Okay.
We've done a couple things from them, I believe. They have done some Go Nagai stuff. They've done The Legend of Crystania, which is in the Lodos world, as well as other pieces like the Magic Users Club and a little show called Shamanic Princess.
Oh my gosh, Shamanic Princess.
We love Shamanic Princess.
Yeah.
And this studio hasn't actually done all that much, all things considered. And I think their last show that they produced was in 2001.
Oh,
but
wow.
don't let that...
It's a retro studio.
Yeah, don't let that dissuade you from the quality of Serial Experiments Lain.
I don't think I will. If it was like the last thing they produced was like 1972, I'd be like, I have some questions.
Well, that'd be weird because Lane's from 98.
I know.
But Lain...
I mean,
Lain,
but would it be weird for Lain?
Ooh, maybe not.
Who knows?
Maybe this is a time travel story, Lindsey.
It's just a Doctor Who anime.
Yeah. No. Although Lain is a visual and audio experience.
Cool.
Which obviously sounds kind of stupid to say because everything we watch is technically a visual and audio experience.
But you can technically have like, Angel's Egg, I would say, was like an audio experience with the soundscape that was created and composed for it.
I don't watch Digimon and go, wow, that was a visual experience in the same way I would exactly Angel's Egg or something else.
Yeah, it's just a different design aspect that they use to heighten to use for storytelling.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, does she work in character development and world designing?
Oh my
and
gosh.
Storytelling?
Yeah, no, this is very a different experience. This is a series whose visual and audio experience defined and may or may not have messed up a generation of people.
Oh my gosh. And still does to this day.
Now,
I don't know though. I've been watching the Ed Gein Netflix series and that thing is fucked up.
Well, this is a little bit different from that.
Yeah, now, that's fair.
As I've said, you've only seen the intro song. This is going to piss off a lot of people. You didn't like it.
No, I didn't, which is saying something because I love Boa. And I just was like, okay, here's the thing, guys. I have ADHD. I like being smacked in the face with my music. I don't like things that put me to sleep. I don't like ballads. I have very select ones. So this was just too much of a snore fest.
There's so many people so fucking mad right now.
Listen, people, I also didn't like the Neon Genesis one, but I understand the iconicness of it now that I've been on the internet and have experienced it.
There you go. Well, now, ignoring everyone's anger, can you tell me what you think this series is about and what genres it has listed based off of just that intro?
Well, I mean, it's psychological, obviously. It's like a psychological thriller, I want to say.
Okay.
That like diet horror genre.
Okay.
I feel like it has something to do with human experiments and like maybe some like MK Ultra style stuff. Yeah, and I know social media wasn't around during this period, but I feel like it has something in terms of like the internet and how we communicate via internet and things like that. Like, I don't know if this little girl is actually real or if she's a creation that somehow manifests itself in the real world somehow.
Interesting.
I feel like it's going to be a very cerebral story from what I've gathered from what I've seen online.
Okay. So you're thinking psychological horror about a girl and the internet.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I don't know if this girl is real or not. I still that's still out for the jury to discuss. Maybe she isn't, because I think I've seen images of her with like what's it called? Oh my gosh, when your TV isn't fully tracking or whatever, and so it has those little like
the VHS degradation lines.
Yeah, where it's like something hasn't fully loaded yet, like a light leak or something.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, Lindsey, from Mal, this 12 episode series has the following genres listed.
Ecchi. Just kidding.
No, this is far from ecchi.
Thank goodness.
Avant-garde, award-winning, drama, mystery, sci-fi, supernatural, and suspense with the main theme psychological.
Okay. Does a ghost possess a computer? Is that how he gets supernatural? Or, oh my gosh, does a ghost possess a little girl and then the ghost figures out message boards and like AOL online and just that starts like developing feelings for someone over a message board, but they can't like express or properly like have this relationship flourish because it's a ghost possessing someone? Is that what happens?
This is not a romance story like that. No.
Okay.
Sorry. It is rated R though.
Cool. So is your gore?
I'm not going to answer any more questions.
There's a picture of a brain I saw, so I'm going to say there's like squishy bits shown.
Well, I have a couple questions for you here, Lindsey.
Okay.
How connected on the internet were you in 1998?
Well, considering I was 6, not very.
Fair.
I played like Arthur's reading challenge or reading race, which was, I'm pretty sure,
fair.
a CD.
I was 9, but by the time this show came to me, it was more closer to like 2001, 2002.
Okay.
At which point I was, and I've probably shared this before, but for new listeners, my internet claims to fame were that I had the official handle of Tuxedo Mask on the North American official Sailor Moon chat room. And I also had a very popular Digimon streaming site that was shut down by its host for using too much bandwidth, even though I was signed on to a plan for unlimited bandwidth. They took advantage of me being a young child and not knowing I could legally fuck their shit up and shut my site down. It was
Rude.
a very, very popular Digimon streaming site.
Fucking weeb.
I know. So I was pretty connected on the internet. I was on all the chat rooms, all of this, all of that. I'm sure half the people I talked to were 40-year-old dudes.
I was gonna say, I wasn't allowed to do them because my parents were like, you will get groomed.
Yeah. So,
yay!
Lindsay, do you
Yes.
think technology brings us closer together or pushes us further apart?
I think it's a double-edged sword. I definitely think that we are able to be closer together. I mean, I'm just thinking about the relationship, my friendship with my friend in the UK that I have. Like, we constantly have video chat dates and things like that. And, so, and I don't think I would have the extent of the relationship I do have with her had this been the 90s or whatever. It's hard because it is a very double-edged sword and very complex issue, because you can do that, but you can also like bully people super easily because you don't have to do it to their face.
I agree. You
can also like we see this with like To Catch a Predator. You can also groom people online.
I think that back in the day, it brought people together. And I think nowadays it's more focused on pushing people apart. It's not its intent, but I think the climate of the world is kind of where it's pushed the internet to where it feels like the internet was a bit of a mistake.
Oh, absolutely.
I say that as someone on a podcast shared through the internet.
Oh my gosh.
But do you think that the internet affects our sense of identity or connection?
Absolutely. Again, it's just one of those factors in I don't know. It's hard because I'm thinking back to like growing up and stuff like that, being told how much of an individual I am, how weird I am, how whatever. And then now that I'm on the internet, I'm like, I just am a kid with ADHD. Like, we're all the same.
Yep.
So again,
it doesn't make you any less unique, maybe, but
I definitely, I don't know. I think I'm just like a certain type of clique or group or like,
no, I get
like
it.
you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
These are the whatever.
Yeah. So then do you think that loneliness is more psychological or technological these days?
That's a tough question, because there are lonely people on the internet who find community and then go shoot up things, which is really unfortunate. And the loneliness, etc., it's very dangerous because it is exacerbated by these people in this kind of echo chamber that they're able to create for their views and ideas, especially when it comes to like, breeding misogyny to extreme levels and things like that. So yeah, it's a scary thing.
I don't know how much of this I'm keeping in or not yet. Depends on how good it sounds.
I was like, this is gonna be real deep. This is like a internet ethics.
Like I said, this is Neon Genesis has enough humor in it that we could have some humorous stuff. There's not a lot of humor in Lain per se. So
I'm so excited.
We're going to be talking about some dark fucking shit. It's going to be a new turn for Animates for this little one.
Holy crap. Okay. People on the Discord who are going to have the Lain channel, can you please put in all of your Lain memes that you can so that I can get some sort of humor?
Well,
with approval from Mackenzie.
But getting back on the topic more of the show, it was originally intended to be viewed differently in the West than in Japan. It was built that way. It was constructed to have different experiences based off the way people interpret technology and media.
Okay.
But because of the internet, it ended up being the downfall of that plan, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, it's again one of those double-edged swords. Like, the internet is almost like a necessary evil or something. Like, it's a good tool, but it's also a very corruptible tool.
Yeah, but to have a show that, talks about the internet and then have the internet be the downfall of that plan you make is almost perfect for it.
I don't really, I mean, again, I can't talk too much to this just as someone who has not viewed this content yet, but yeah, it kind of seems like the only real outcome that could possibly happen with this concept.
Yeah. But I don't want to say much more. I want to jump right into this so we can actually talk and no longer speculate. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of speculating, but no initial speculations. So yeah, we're going to go watch the very first episode of Serial Experiments Lain.
Pray for me, guys.
Actually, Lindsey.
So help me if you're like, let's watch it now. I have to go to Thanksgiving.
I have one final question for you.
Yeah.
What makes someone real?
Oh,
their
God.
body, their mind, or their presence in others' perception?
You want a philosophy course? That's your last question? Give me a philosophy about what makes a human a person a person? I don't know. Go watch Ex Machina and then make your own ideas. Yeah, I don't think I'm technically qualified to answer that question. Oh man, because there's like a lot. That's such a complex question to just drop on me.
Well,
Holy
you know what,
shit.
Lindsey? Let's hold off on your answer to that then. Let's watch some Serial Experiments Lain, and then every now and again, every few episodes, I'm going to re-ask you that question, and we'll see how your answer changes.
Oh no. I'm going to say a computer is not a person.
And folks, we will be right back.
That'll be such a hot take in like the year 3000 when the computer overlords take over. That's how I die.
You're going to be alive in 3000?
Well, okay, when the computers rise up, this is what I've also publicly said fuck AI a lot.
Same.
Yep. So we'll both be killed by our AI overlords. Have fun.
Lindsey and I care about our listeners' mental health, so we do want to give some trigger warnings for the upcoming discussion. There will be topics on suicide, depression, schizophrenia, and other mental health issues. Stay safe out there, folks. And we're back from watching the first episode of Serial Experiments Lain. And Lindsey, I have to ask, in 3 words or less, can you give me your first visceral impression?
3 words or less. Okay. Probably internet is bad.
I mean, you're not wrong. I was expecting more of like a what the fuck or something, but that also works pretty good.
Bear onesie.
That is 2 words. Oh, I guess I did say 3 or less.
Yep.
I did say 3 or less. Yes, bear onesie. I want bear onesie.
I want bear onesie too.
Very, very much so. But not like any bear. It has to be the one from Lain.
Yeah, that one looks so cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about in more than 3 words?
I think I'm excited to see where this show goes. I think it has a lot of really good themes and ideas that it is starting to portray, and I think it's really good on the design front and has a really interesting visual communication style. I just really hope that they can keep that going and keep that momentum going and kind of keep slowly cranking up the intensity. I also think it's really interesting just the way that it's going, just how relevant it still feels like 25-ish years later.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary, The internet's bad.
Just a little bit, yeah. And especially now that it's more advanced. Although, I don't know if the fact it's more advanced is scarier. It almost feels scarier when it's less advanced that can happen because it feels more raw. But it's definitely scary for the modern times and relevant for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of seeing this, I kind of talked to you about this earlier when we were just messaging back and forth. But even this kind of AI-induced psychosis that we're starting to see in people that have AI chatbots and things like that, it still feels like this kind of story. Yeah, the internet is a dangerous place, especially when your frontal lobe isn't really developed,
Yeah. Speaking of undeveloped frontal lobes, do you think if you came across this first episode late at night as a preteen, that it would have intrigued you or scared you the hell off?
I think it would intrigue me. There wasn't, I don't know. I didn't really get scared by a lot of stuff in terms of stuff that in terms of content I saw on the TV.
Fair. It unnerved me the first time I saw the first episode, and I was like, I don't want to do this. But then I watched the second, and I was like, I really don't want to do this. And then many years later, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I was still super young. And then again, I would make it 5 or 6 episodes. And then I'd be like, no, I can't do this anymore. And then finally, in my later teen and adult years, I was like, all right, we're doing this one.
It almost feels like it's going to be like boiling frogs with this one. It's just going to slowly keep turning up the heat and then you're just cooked.
Well, because it's it has an eerie peacefulness to it.
Yeah, it's not overt in the kind of terrifying elements. I mean, I can't really, in this first episode, it's all just kind of stuff that's unnerving and kind of, you're like, that doesn't seem right. And they, utilize certain design things to just have that uncomfortableness that isn't really hitting you in your face. It's more subliminal, like with the, like the humming and things like that. Like,
yeah. Now, compared to Evangelion, do you think this is a better first experience?
Weeps, don't at me. I absolutely like this one better than Neon Genesis so far.
So I was going to say, so far.
Yes. Neon Genesis didn't really have me sold and didn't really have me excited to see more after the first episode. Whereas this one, I'm like, okay, I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, that one had you still doing your like Charlie Day crazy board, but it wasn't quite like, this is more like, what the fuck? Like, do you think this is meant to be watched logically, or do you think it should be watched more emotionally or spiritually? Because with Evangelion, it starts out kind of logically. You're like, I'm trying to piece these things together. And then all of a sudden it's like spirituality and emotions that are
Except spirituality doesn't mean anything. It just means that Hideki Anno just found something that looked cool.
Yeah, that is true.
So that one you weren't even supposed to look at spiritually because it didn't matter.
Yeah. So are you gonna watch this more emotionally and spiritually or logically?
I think you kind of have to have a blend with it because you have to, with the kind of emotional element, you kind of have to in order to get that perspective with Lane because she is a child, but also logically to kind of process from a wider angle or a person on the outside viewing this. You need it to see the intricacies of what's actually going on.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot going on because every single thing that happens in this matters. Every detail in this show, whether it's storytelling driven or is just meant to induce some sort of emotion or something, it's all there. And the art style goes very hard in many different directions.
Yeah, I think that was one thing that I really appreciated is that it is very stylized, but not like in a hyper way. They're very subtle with the things that they do. And I think it's very effective. Like
they could have easily had, like they have the little psychedelic graphic moments, but they could have been like pulsating and moving all crazy and like flashing you in the face, but they don't.
Flashing you, huh? Those kind of looked like brain scans to me. Which is very interesting to have that as the kind of backdrop for these kind of techno ethereal voices or whatever.
Yeah, look, the conversations. Yeah, no, it is a very, very unique piece of media in that sense because the art style at times can look very plain and very flat, but it's also incredibly deep. And it's a bit of a different art style than we've seen before.
But still, I don't know, but it still kind of is within that world. I don't know. It's definitely not that like weird hyper, like big eyes and sparkles and shit.
I was going to say, you're not getting waifus in this kind of thing.
No, this is very much like grounded in reality or some form of quote unquote reality.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then there's the cinematography of the whole damn thing.
There's a lot of interesting cinematography being utilized.
There's a lot of like slow shots, but every time you kind of start to get comfortable, it's like glitch, strange effect. And you're like, what's going on? which is pretty cool.
Yep.
But also the sound design in this, and we'll experience more of this as we get deeper into it. But yeah, it's very atmospheric in that sense. But like you had mentioned earlier with the hum of the power lines, there is so much damn hum.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's one of those things that they're utilizing to kind of add to the discomfort almost. I have a lot of different theories in terms of that.
Ooh, give me a hum theory.
Well, it's more like within context of when you see it in the show, but it is kind of one of those things that just feels like it's adding to this sort of, I don't want to say mania almost or psychosis that Lane is starting to experience. Yeah,
well, there's a few things with why those things hum. There's arcing between electricity that can happen at the connector points, which can produce a hum anywhere from like 50 to, I believe it's 200 hertz, but ours is a little bit lower, which means it's likely just a hum of electricity breaking off and arcing throughout the air, causing vibrations on the wire and whatnot. But people tend to associate.
I was going to say, those are all like logical things.
Yes, but it's meant to unnerve you in the sense that, like, we typically don't hear power lines.
Mm-hmm.
Certain spots you can. There's certain spots in the city when I'm biking where I'm like, I'm about to hear it. But typically you don't. So when you are constantly hearing them, a lot of theories I've read online are people saying that that's actually the wired trying to push its energy out and break free.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I was like, it seems to be happening when, this like her friend's spirit or whatever is trying to reach out to talk to her and things like that.
Yeah, it's very...
It also kind of made me think of some different signs of like mental illness that is a symptom of. So like sensitivity to stimulation.
Mm-hmm.
And so as we kind of gradually see her starting to go down this rabbit hole, I guess, it just kind of, adds a little bit more.
I got some notes on that for later that'll give a bit more of an insight into that for sure. But let's talk about Lain herself real quick here.
She's adorable.
She's hilarious. She's not meant to be, but she's not stupid, but she's just kind of there. She's not present.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of saying it. She's not always present in the moment.
Starting with real quick, her voice actor.
Okay.
We are watching the dub because, as we've learned on this podcast, if we want to get big details across, we got to go for the dub.
Oh, man.
Because there would be so much missed reading subtitles in this one.
Yep, 100%.
For like people who like subtitles and not, you got to focus on the screen. But Lain is voiced by Bridget Hoffman, who is still going strong these days, voicing Kane, and I believe it's Demon Slayer. But her history goes as far back as 1979.
Wow, she's been around the block a couple times.
Yeah. Now, for some things that we've watched on this podcast, she is Fu, the green girl from Magic Knight Ray Earth.
Okay.
She's Mima from Perfect Blue.
Oh.
She does Belle Dandy from Ah My Goddess.
Cool.
June from Soul Bianca.
Oh, yes.
Patamon from Digimon.
Patamon's my favorite.
And about 100 or so other roles. So she's pretty popular, one would say. This isn't one of those shows where like you got a voice actor and this was their only role. They put some thought into their casting for this one, unlike some stuff we've watched recently.
I think that's smart because there is that subtlety in its storytelling that you would need someone who has that experience of how to do that with just their voice when it comes to acting.
Exactly. And she does a good job. Lain doesn't say a lot.
No.
But what she says is spoken with the emotion that it's meant to convey, which sounds like a weird thing to say, but everything she says when she doesn't say much is purposeful, even if it's a silly little line.
The intention definitely comes across clearly.
Exactly. I would ask what you think about the rest of the characters, but we haven't really met much people.
She's dead.
Yeah. What do you think of Chiza? She makes a good ghost.
Yep. She's haunting.
Ooh.
Ooh.
She types really fast, apparently.
I guess so. Yeah, I was like, I think she's kind of the biggest. I feel like she's going to keep coming back. That's why I'm like, I'm going to remember this person.
I mean, that's probably a good thing to do.
Yeah, I feel like a kid in your grade commits suicide. It's a pretty big thing that you don't just kind of glaze over. No. Which,
speaking of that, we literally start episode 1
with a suicide.
Yep.
Man. Yep. And this girl is not mentally well.
No, were you expecting that kind of opening?
No, not really. I wasn't expecting a child to clearly be experiencing some sort of mental health break and mania.
Yeah.
She's just, yeah. She's not in her right mind.
No, and it's interesting because we see often in the show the shadows conveying different things. In this case, the shadows are speckled with blood before we even do anything with Chisa.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that's meant to convey?
I mean, it definitely is a way of, I don't know, like literally being a warning or being scared of the dark, because it is kind of giving you this ominous sort of tone, especially with the blood. And then, plot twist, we end up with a lot of blood everywhere. But I mean, like even throughout the episode, their shadows are very dark and stylized. And even on the opposite end of that spectrum, the white is very stylized. Because it utilizes a lot of negative space and relies on the audience to kind of fill in the blanks.
Yep.
I don't know. Like it seems very interesting, and it kind of like is left like it. I don't know. Maybe it is that whole. It mirrors kind of what's going on with Lain of like trying to fill in the blanks of how she's able to communicate with Chisa, who we literally watch die.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this,
you're kind of jumping on it. So like the shadows change. Sometimes they're blood splatter. Sometimes it's black splatter inside of it. Sometimes Lane has a completely different shadow than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And the times that I notice the red shadow is when we're talking about people that are dead or about to die.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
Could be, we'll have to see later on, but that could be conveying certain things. But you mentioned Chisa not being mentally well. She's like so upset before she does this, but when she's doing it, she's so happy.
I know, which is very strange because I want to know, because you don't really get from her perspective what's making her laugh and so happy in this moment. I think it has something to do. I feel like there's some sort of like technological psychopathy or something that has affected her and almost implanted itself in her, that she is hallucinating things that nobody can see except for her, which is fucking terrifying.
Well, she whispers like, I just no longer need to stay in the real world.
Yeah. Like, this whole thing is like Black Mirror, the anime.
I mean,
it's terrifying.
Oh man. But we hard jump from that to class.
Yeah. I mean, I think
it's like a week later.
Yeah. I was like, this is kind of an intro. I get that we don't just stay on it. It's like, boom, here's something that's going to be really important, but we're going to explain more of it later. We're not going to talk too much about it right now. Yeah, and it's basically just like Lane walking into class and a girl crying because she got an email from Chisa, which is impossible because Chisa is allegedly dead. This like bitchy little schoolgirl comes up to Lane and is like, you should check your email more often. You should me. And it's like, it's like chastising Lane. And I'm like, girl, bippity boppity, back the fuck up. Leave this girl alone. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, it's frustrating. And I don't know, it's just very strange. But yeah, we get these like weird little clips of like these weird psychedelic, that's the word I'm looking for. Things that are like have little walls of text on them that say things like, I don't know, like everybody hurry and shit like that. Like, and you're like, what is this? And it's not until later that you can kind of get an idea of maybe this is Chisa in like some sort of technological environment, realm, whatever, that can kind of communicate with our realm. I don't know. It's very strange. Makes you want to scratch your brain.
Right before we get to the classroom scene, there is a moment on the train where she's like hearing people talking to her, but no one's talking to her. And she's like, everyone shut up. And that's an interesting kind of like lead into this next part, because she's in the school and first she's kind of dissociating and the audio is pinging left and right channels over and over again as like echoes and chalkboard writing kind of goes back and forth. And this is meant to mimic the way that people hear audio when they are dissociating.
Yeah, I was going to say this. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's very much a dissociative state.
It's just like you completely zone out and things begin to just bounce back and forth and not be registering equally at the same time. But then we look at her hand and she's got smoke coming from her fingertips.
Yeah, which was very interesting because it's just like in class. And it's almost like, I don't know, is it kind of like the power that you can have at your like fingertips in terms of communication? Is it her soul or something? I don't know. It kind of, yeah.
Do you want the answer?
I wrote down the power of what you can release when typing.
Nope. The answer is that this is a fairly typical schizophrenic hallucination.
Oh, interesting. Okay, good to know.
Perceive yourself emitting ectoplasm from your body.
Oh.
Yeah. So Lane is already very quickly
experiencing schizophrenia.
Yes. More, I mean, that's just kind of what it typically means. I'm not sure if that's what they're conveying in the anime exactly.
Okay, that's fair.
But in a real world situation, that tends to be what that is.
Interesting. Okay, good to know. Great. More, basically, I'm like, this kid is experiencing weird mental health things throughout this entire episode. So I'm very interested to see where this goes. Yeah, but I mean, like, we finally get home and then she's gonna go up to her room, and it's funny because she goes to go on her computer, but her computer isn't even set up in a way that like ours are in terms of easily accessible. Like she has to physically move it into a position that is more accessible to her.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous that she was able to stay disconnected from technology, even at that age.
Oh my gosh. To watch this episode of the show, I had to put on the Focus Friend, the app that Hank Green developed, so that I wouldn't look at my phone and I could clearly just focus on the episode. Like, oh man.
Lane is too busy drawing in her notebook and staring at her adorable little teddy bears everywhere.
I know.
She ain't got time for the internet. She ain't got time
Honestly,
for email.
Probably the best thing for children to do.
Yeah.
Just from a developmental standpoint.
Yeah. But also, the OS on this computer is so annoying.
I was like, man, it's so straightforward. This would be great. You just type in your name, you say your name, and then you're on.
There was a group that was making an actual OS you could run like that on your computer in modern times, but I think they shut down in like 2012. But for the 90s, it was awesome. Now trying to use that, I'd be like, oh. And we do learn that her computer is quite outdated, all things considered.
Yeah, narratively, that does come up later.
But it's time to check our email.
Oh my gosh, she's also sent her an email. Whoa.
Well, yeah, you think it's an email.
Yeah, it turns out it's just like an AIM window and she just keeps responding back to things that she's saying. And it's like, does it hurt to die? And it's like, yeah, it's really painful.
It's even weirder than that because she goes, what's it like when you die? And she responds with, it really hurts, with a smiley face.
I know, which I was like, girl. Oh, yeah. And she also has to remind her. She's like, I walked home with you once. Do you remember? And I'm like, so they aren't even clearly close friends. They're just kids that are in the same grade.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like Chisa just sent out this mass email to see who would respond back so that she could have a connection with someone. It seems like it didn't even matter who it was.
She's trying to see who she can bring to the Wired.
What predatory behavior?
How would you interpret getting a personalized email from someone that you knew a week after their death and then it continued to respond in real time back to you? Would you assume it's a prank or would you have a moment of hold the fuck on for a second? Is this?
I see. And the thing is the email is saying I'm still alive, blah, blah, blah. I think I would think that it was some sort of prank or it's some sort of, it's so hard because you also have that trauma aspect of having a death. So it could be, dealing with grief. It could also be a really good way to still feel like you have communication and connection with that person after they've gone. But it's all still just really dangerous behavior.
It brings in the thing you mentioned earlier about the AI psychosis, where it's it might start as a prank. If someone just wrote a ChatGPT bot to email you back as this person, if it was someone you knew and you were susceptible to these kind of things, you might start chatting with this AI chatbot as if it's your real dead friend. And that could mess you up just as badly as it actually being your real dead friend.
100%. And if Lain already does have mental health, mental illness, like schizophrenia and stuff, she's a real easy victim for this.
Yeah. From an outside perspective, it is a very unnerving experience because you're like, no, don't respond. No, it could be this, but it's just
Yeah, but when you are a child and those logical thought processes aren't really developed, it can get really scary really fast and really dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Well, the conversation ends when she's like, it's so good here. And then she says, here, there is a God. What the fuck do you think that means, Lindsay? Any predictions on that one?
Bill Gates. I don't know. Who invented the internet? Hang on. Who invented the internet? Vinton Cerf and Robert Kahn. Those are God.
They're just chilling there.
Yeah, it's Charlie Brooker, the guy who made Black Mirror. He's like, yo, I could think of a good TV series.
I mean, the credit of the TTP protocol and all that stuff makes sense, but Tim Berners-Lee was the creator of the World Wide Web itself, the HTML, the URL, and all that stuff. So I feel like he would also probably be chilling in the Wired,
Yeah. I don't know. It could be, maybe it's just a weird CEO, a tech CEO who's just yes.
Oh no, children run. Children run.
Yeah, it's just an Elon Musk character.
Oh no, children run even faster.
Yeah. Did you see that he was listed in the Epstein files? Yeah, my jaw's in the exact same place.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's she's stuck in this thing, but it's also her home life is also fucking weird.
Well, even before that, just before we go to the home life, the last thing she literally texts Lain is, you will all understand soon. Everyone will. That is ominous shit.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Do you think that it's going to be a case where everyone commit suicide? Or do you think it's a case where the Wired is going to grab you no matter what?
I don't know. Because it could, what does the Wired want?
It's a good question, Lindsay. I miss being able to say that like I could with Evangelion.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's like, does the Wire need all of these human consciousnesses to like control and take over the world? Is it trying to
make a
skin
impact?
Suit? I will slap you. It's gonna make itself a spear, but then it's gonna transition to a different spear because someone stared at it a weird way on a Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's a different spear.
Huh?
But we won't tell you that.
Keep that thought in mind.
Okay, I will. Let me add that to the board. What does the Wired want? Actually, I do need to add that to the board.
In case people ask what the board is, this time we actually have a live board that we are putting notes and questions. I told Lindsay I was gonna have questions for this episode, and then I like put my list in and she was like, holy fuck, that's a lot of questions.
Yeah, you had like 17 questions and I was like, good lord.
Because Evangelion was fun and comical and whatnot. There'll be things to joke about for this, but I wanted to make sure I had some fucking questions where we could really discuss things.
Oh man, this definitely feels like a series that I definitely can dig my teeth into.
Hell yeah. Speaking of teeth, and more specifically mouths, and more specifically lips.
And dinner time.
What the fuck is up with Lane's mom's mouth?
I had the exact same fucking question when I watched this the first time. You know what it is? So your lips and how they drew the lipstick on this woman was it went too far past like the corners of her mouth.
Oh yeah.
And so she just looked like a clown.
She looked like a baby eating spaghetti.
Yeah, women don't put the lipstick all the way equidistantly around their entire mouth. And
it starts out, and I say it's like not a lot of comedy. This is fucking hilarious because it starts out zoomed out and you're like, oh, it's just bad, frame or whatever. And
yeah, it's just like
it cuts up to her actual like full size face and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Why do you look like Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Z?
It's like a little bit forgivable, but also not. Because you're like, this is terrible.
I mean, her mom sucks anyways.
Yeah. Well, it's also really funny because while Lane is eating her soup, she gets another shine on her eye.
Mm-hmm.
And it, now that we've referenced schizophrenia, it makes me think of the movie Hereditary because there's also a lot of like light being reflected that like hits a kid in the eye.
Yep.
And I'm just
Good
like, oh
catch.
no. Okay, schizophrenia.
To the board.
Let's get the thread.
Why the fuck? Like she's sitting there and she's like, Mom? And her mom's like, uh-huh. Why the fuck does her mom react with absolutely no emotion, no words, no actions at all when she goes, I'm emailing my dead friend?
It's because the mom is so emotionally just checked out. Because even when the older sister, I'm assuming older sister Lee, is like, can I be excused? I had a big lunch. Like the mom doesn't even respond or acknowledge her.
Nope.
So I think this mom is very much just not focused on the present. Okay. And just is very like hands off, doesn't care, like not there.
Which kind of begs the question, do you think her mom is already attached to the Wired at all in any way? That she's fully kind of gone? Or do you think that she legitimately just cares so little that like that's it? Like nothing matters, life is terrible, but she just keeps on trucking?
I don't know. It could be really interesting because schizophrenia is passed on through the maternal genes.
Mm-hmm.
And so like from that perspective, it's very interesting. And it could be that, like the mom is also experiencing schizophrenia of some sort. Maybe she's like older and I don't know, medicated, has a fully developed frontal lobe, fun things like that.
Maybe. A little dark, but yeah, maybe,
Well, and also we need to have lack of parental supervision in order for this plot to go any further. Because if it was like, hey, I've talked to this dead kid online, the mom would be like, we're taking your computer out of your room.
That was quite literally my next comment, is that this show would not be possible if it was like an actual mom in like the 2000s, early 2000s, late 90s with the internet being like, no parental controls, don't talk to people on strangers, no chat rooms, AOL online, child filters.
Like, I was allowed to have Nexopia because like pedophiles were on there.
I actually had my internet controls turned on real quick and then turned off real quick when it turns out that AOL wouldn't even let me view Dragon Ball Z content. It was too adult for AOL. So my mom just told me to be safe. And I was safe.
My parents
more or less
did not do parental controls. But I was also like, I didn't try to like do anything shitty.
No, anytime that something happened was entire accident. For example.
Oh no.
we just got the internet. My mom's showing me the internet. She goes, choose anything you want. I may have told the story. I don't remember. And I go, ha, 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 p.com. We're both so innocent to the internet.
Oh, no.
I type it in with 3 E's instead of 2. It begins to slowly dial up load. And you see p.com. The extra E is for extra P. And then you see cleavage starting to like load in on these faces. And my mom, I'm sitting on a chair and she pushes me backwards. So I roll out of this chair and she's like, nope, 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 nope.
That's incredible.
A few years later, I'm on the internets. And now at this
and
point,
you went to
obviously,
p.com?
No. A few years later, it's like, obviously I've been on the internet for a while now. I'm into anime. I've seen some anime boobas here and there. Whatever. No big deal.
Yeah.
My sister, I'm looking to make an email account. I want off the AOL email. She goes, oh, go to hotmail.com.
Oh, but then she put M-A-L-E instead of M-A-I.
I typed in M-A-L-E.
Yep.
And was like,
I have a friend who did that by accident too.
Oh no.
Man.
So, yeah, internet was a different place back in the time when it first came out.
It was wild.
But speaking back on the parents, well, sorry, first we got to get into our bear onesies.
Of course, that's a very important plot point.
Very
There's a bear
important
onesie.
plot point. And then we got to go meet the father.
Yeah, who also, is another factor in this whole, like, really setting Lain up for failure when it comes to internet safety. Because he loves computers. He has, 8 monitors when we meet him?
Yeah.
It's insane.
And he's so stoked for her to, like, be willing to, he's like, oh yeah, you got a shitty old computer. You want to upgrade it? Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, I'll get you a better one. It'll be faster. It'll be stronger. It'll be less internet safety.
Okay, Daft
I don't
Punk.
even know. Shut up. Things like that. And oh my gosh, because even later on, he like asks her something and she responds, but her voice isn't there. And he's just staring at the screen. And I was like, yeah, like even this dad doesn't pay attention to his child. He's too busy like locked in on what's happening on the screen.
And the things going on his screen are super weird.
Well, because it's a bunch of headless bodies, which also is kind of like, yeah, on the internet, you can be anyone. You know, your identity isn't really concrete.
I asked about the mom for this, but the dad is quite connected, obviously, to the internet. He has a massive computer system, yada, yada, yada. Do you think he ever gets involved with the wired level like Chisa at all? Or do you think he's just going to somehow come out just loving computers?
That's a good question. I could see him being wired more than the mom at this point.
Okay.
But it just presents in a different way almost. Like he's in a different position in the wired. So it's like he's like a recruiter.
Yeah.
Like an on the ground, like in the real world recruiter or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's the whole family dynamic there is so weird because like the sister is the only normal one, it seems.
Yeah.
And she gets out of there real fucking quick.
Yeah, I was like, and we see her for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all very interesting. I don't even know.
Well, and then
yeah,
she yeah. Well, and after her, like, because the whole home is very sterile.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is very white.
Not a lot of personality in it.
Her dad's office is like a desk in the middle of the room with all of these monitors.
And there's a coffee table and like maybe a couch.
Yeah, and then nothing else. Nothing on the walls, nothing. It's very sterile. Lane's room, it's very childlike. Like we mentioned before, she got her stuffies and her little like knickknacks and everything. So she's still existing as a normal child in the world. She's just a little different. A little more susceptible to the things around her.
Yeah, she still has that innocence. You know, she dresses as a literal teddy bear.
Yeah. And we kind of end that whole scene where this is where she gets this message from Chisa again. And it just says, I'm not dead. I just abandoned my body. I'm still here in the wired.
Yeah.
And then the hum of the computer grows louder. And there's like just some sounds building tension. And then it's boom, next day, back on the train.
Yeah, but it's a little bit different this time because there's blood coming from the fucking wires.
Because they hit something and we don't know what they've hit, but she's seeing blood.
Yeah, which is terrible. Like, it was very unnerving.
And when there's also, I'm not sure if you noticed, there's a voice that's calling out to her saying her name. There's Elaine.
And she also goes on like this weird kind of almost hallucinogenic trip. Well, she falls.
Yes.
So also there could be like head trauma from hitting something if she fell. Yeah, like it's just so strange because she starts going on this weird hallucinogenic trip. Not quite. Mm-hmm. But she's like trying to go upstairs and then there's like at the train station and then people start disappearing weirdly and then she's at school but everything is just slightly off, which is really weird. I don't know. It's all very strange. And then, yeah, eventually there's like smoke again. Schizophrenia? Who knows? And she's at a train crossing. She's on train tracks, and it's foggy as shit. And then she sees a train coming, and she's on like the tracks or something, and she's trying to yell out for her to move. But yeah, Cheesa looks like something out of The fucking Grudge. And she is laughing and gets hit by a train again. So, oh my gosh, was she what got hit by the train?
Did what?
Is that why there was blood on the wire? I don't know. I'm just like, she got hit by the train, and that's why she. But if you're in the wire, can you still bleed?
Or was this a different girl?
Someone else was it another person who is like, I'm ready to also join the Wired? Is this going to start being a pandemic amongst young girls?
That's what I was asking. Do you think that the world's just going to start committing a whole bunch of suicides to join into the Wired? I think
it could definitely become an epidemic.
Yep.
That would be very, yeah, I guess if she says like recruiting people to join the Wired, it makes sense.
Yeah. And if the only way to get there is by fully giving up your body.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yes, it is very terrifying.
Man. Well, and because like this whole entire dream sequence, we don't even it all just kind of whooshes by, because then she's like sweating profusely in class. Yeah. And has to go to answer her thing on the board, and the words change to like, come to the Wired as soon as you can, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this whole thing is just so strange. And then, yeah, we end with her kind of, I guess, walking home at the end of the day. And when she normally, I like most of the time in the episode, she's walking in the light. And then for this kind of last scene, she's walking in shadow, and she turns around, and Cheesa is there.
Yep.
And it's very interesting. I don't know. She's just entering into this different space now that she's started interacting with the strange girl in the Wired.
It gets even weirder because Cheesa repeats her message again and goes, "You should come too, Lain. There's no need to be afraid."
Yeah, terrifying.
And then literally Cheesa just turns into cloth ropes and fades away and is in a hallucination.
Which like was really cool.
Yeah. It's a very just like, hey, get the fuck in here, please.
Come to the Wired.
Which is so unnerving, because it's one thing to like get a prank email. It's another thing to be seeing her.
Yeah, to fully see them in that plane, like the same plane as you, I guess.
Yeah.
It's all very strange. I am interested to see where this goes.
I'm really glad that it is intriguing to you from the first episode, because it's very, as you've learned, dark. You didn't know what you were going to get coming into this. For all you could have known, it could have been a fun, jaunty adventure through the internet, Digimon style.
I figured it wasn't, considering everybody's reaction to finding out that this is what we were doing for the next long form.
Yeah. Because with Evangelion, people are like, ho, she's going to have a fun time with that. Messy and weird, but fun. But everyone for this one is like, oh, no. I
really just want to go binge this, but I know that I can't.
Don't do that.
I know.
Don't do that.
We're just going to record all of them in the next 3 days.
But all right, yeah, so you've now seen the first episode of Serial Experiments Lain. 12 more to go as we slowly dip further into the weird and meet strange characters like Freeter.
Oh, Freeter.
And Misumi. Names that mean nothing to you at the moment.
Nope. I'm going to assume Misumi is adorable. Okay, guess that was a terrible guess.
For anyone who knows the series is laughing their ass off right now. Misumi
Great.
is not what I would call adorable. Don't go Googling them. You'll find out when you get there. But thank you folks so much for listening to our first kind of episode as we break things down a little deeper with a little more introspection and questions. We'll have a bit more of a breakdown kind of as we get into like the further episodes, like 2, 3, etc.
Both critically and mentally.
Because there's only so many initial thought questions I can ask about the hum of the power lines. I won't keep asking that in every other thing, filling up 10 minutes of your time with questions about fucking power lines. Both for you and Lindsey, of course. That's a good thing.
Now I've just got Powerline from the Goofy movie stuck in my head.
Oh, God. Not at all like this show.
Man, I would watch that for 13 hours straight.
Did you listen to the outro song?
Yes, I did. Do I remember it? No. It was like